getting too weird.
You're the one who brought it up.
No, you just did with the horse fucking.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about Jack Harlow fucking deer.
No. Characters, anime characters, cartoons. You brought it to real life shit. So
I will say one thing. This is the only part that kind of creeped me out over watching the Jack Harlow Twitter thread. I don't know. I'm guessing it's not from an episode of Scooby-Doo because it was somebody that just – but it was showing Velma and Daphne in their underwear, and Velma's thick as shit. And it just threw me off. I'm like –
Nah, there was another like photo in that thread where it was the mom or the aunt from Big Hero 6.
Yeah, man, Disney just be making their moms and just women in general thick as shit.
There is a bunch of like sexual innuendos and all the fam. Stop this.
Velma
demonetized.
Velma's got a dump truck.
We're about to get demonetized.
Velma ain't missed a meal.
We are getting demonetized.
Here's the start the cold open over.
No. This is great.
2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Lift.
3, 2, 1.
Will you stop this?
3, 2, 1.
Well, more work for you. Cool.
If the program will let me.
Less trouble in the future.
I'm going to get a text from you. Bruh, the fucking program crashed 8 times.
It happens.
There'll be no pod this week.
No. Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports. There will be a pod. This is episode 40?
40.
Who are number 40?
Gail Sayers,
Ooh,
Sean Kemp, Pat Tillman. All 3 will be on our page.
Fair enough.
Because I already made it.
Oh, all right. But those are good choices.
Right?
Pat Tillman.
So, episode 40. A bunch of stuff happened this week. I didn't want to spend too much time on Jack Harlow, so we're going to move on from that.
Good.
Yeah.
Also not really sports related.
Oh, hero.
Yeah, great song.
That was a good segue. But going into the news that happened this week, the biggest story that's going around right now is James Harden and his holdout from Houston. Kadeem, when we first started talking about this and you were like, yeah, and James Harden was like, because I was talking about Westbrook and how he showed up 2 days early or 2 hours early to like some sort of practice to set the tone. Mm-hmm. Your response was like, and James Harden is at strip clubs, being photographed in strip clubs and all this. And my first like reaction was like, come on, man, we don't know that. Like, don't. And then I saw the pictures and I was like,
yeah,
oh.
I had seen the pictures.
Yeah,
he was in the club.
I didn't say anything yet. Like, I was like, let me check. Because I was like, he can't be doing that type of shit now.
Oh, he was doing all that type of shit.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh,
he was at little baby's birthday with like 100 other people.
Right, with no mask. And I feel kind of bad for Silas because this is like his first head coaching job, and now he has 2 like superstars that are leaving the team and leaving the cupboard somewhat bare for him.
But again, I will reiterate, James Harden is trying to now force his way out, or maybe he's not. He just has to quarantine for a week.
This point.
He's trying to force himself out.
Yeah.
Where is he going to go?
Sixers.
No chance in hell. Because the Sixers don't want him.
Yeah, they do.
No, they do not.
Yeah, they do.
They do not.
I think that right now to say, look, Philadelphia has been linked to the James Harden thing because I think on last episode I was trying to explain how no team can really fit for James Harden. Other than when I was looking at some 3-team trades if we would get Brooklyn back into the mix. But right now, Philadelphia, as far as the Ben Simmons thing. But it's already come out that Daryl Morey has come out and said that he wants to see Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid play together. Now, once again, knowing NBA GMs or GMs across anywhere, you say what you want to try to placate some of your players, make sure that they're happy when they're there.
Exactly.
That being said, though, I still stand firm, and especially right now, that Houston's leverage is disappearing every day. Now, I'm a huge proponent of the NBA in the fact of how players have so much power and control and say over where they go and what happens compared to places like the NFL or other sports. But this James Harden thing might be a bridge too far. As far as being able to act like a goddamn fool and get your way out. Look,
Anthony Davis did the same thing, remember?
Anthony Davis did the same. Anthony Davis wasn't partying at Lil Baby's party that could potentially get.
Well, I mean, there was no pandemic.
I know, but Anthony Davis wasn't going nobody. He just refused to practice. He refused to show up. He kept saying he was hurt still.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing as far as like the optics are totally different.
Yeah,
and you can kind of understand where it is that one's coming from more than the other. And not to mention, while a lot of New Orleans is. I don't think New Orleans' leverage ever went completely away because everybody still wanted Anthony Davis as far as the figure of Anthony Davis. They could understand his unhappiness there. I don't think when you're looking at James Harden, where can you really complain if you're James Harden? You wanted a star, they gave you Dwight Howard. You wanted a star, they gave you Chris Paul. You wanted a star, they gave you Russell Westbrook. Now that everybody's gone, and now that you don't want to be a part of it anymore because everybody's left your ass, you can't really just act like a big baby.
Dwight Howard wasn't a star.
Huh? Dwight Howard, when he first went to Houston, was absolutely a star. Saying anything less, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of what happened in LA, you cannot look at what happened. You cannot look at what happened in LA with Dwight Howard and say whether or not he was still a star. I think that's ridiculous because nothing in LA worked that year. Nothing in LA worked that year. So Dwight Howard was absolutely still a key cog.
All right. A star, like a fringe star, but he's not a superstar.
He's not Giannis. He's Dwight.
You need a
superstar. He wasn't Dwight from Orlando, but he was still Dwight, and he could still play his ass off.
It's like just get rebounds and block shots.
But my thing with the leverage is that not only is it hurting them in the standpoint of there aren't a lot of teams that get trade for him. It's also hurting now in the sense of people looking at James Harden like, do I even really want to deal with that?
Well,
and it's not like you're getting a 24-year-old superstar. You're getting somebody in their early 30s
who was just an MVP.
40 million. Yeah. Did he win?
Okay. He was just an MVP.
That's like if Giannis gets Defensive Player of the Year every year and never wins a championship.
Harden's a top 5 player in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
Easily.
Teams want him.
Don't get that twisted.
But he's not a winner.
But that's the thing is that as much as
there aren't that many winners.
I get it, especially in the
Jimmy Butler's not a winner either, but he's great.
I get all of these things, but what I'm saying is that when you're looking at Harden and that contract, and what other pieces you have to put around him in order
what he has to get away,
right? In order to win, that becomes the issue. Because if I have to leverage and mortgage everything to get Harden. Then I have to think, all right, is Harden in this other piece going to be enough to give me a championship? Because so far it hasn't been.
All right, I got a question. So if you're Houston, right, you got a window. You should have already traded Harden by now, but since you didn't, like you said, their leverage is dwindling by the day. Let's say the season starts and they still have Harden on the team.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And let's say like around All-Star break, around the midpoint or whatever, teams like Milwaukee, like they know they're not going to win the championship. Like the pieces that they added aren't meshing well together like they did last year. Just an example.
Jrue Holiday.
I know, but don't you think they may be able to flip like James Harden? Huh?
Flip who? For Jrue Holiday?
And more. Of course, more.
What's more? They gave everything to get Jrue. Like, that's my thing.
Oh, shit.
Guys,
maybe the Clippers. Fuck it.
There's only one.
Paul George? What are you going to do?
There's only one
team. This gets
team.
worse as I think about it.
There's only one team he can go to.
Wait, what did they give up for Jrue Holiday?
their entire.
It was like a bunch of picks. And hold on, wasn't it a couple of shooters?
Wesley Matthews, right?
Yeah,
No.
I think he's now. Isn't Matthews
That was for
gone
Danny
now?
Green. Yeah, Wesley Matthews is in LA, I believe, and Danny Green's in Philly.
It was a 14 trade. It's complicated shit.
Guys, there's only one team.
Well, I mean,
Left.
shit. If it can't be like a one team, like a 1v1 team trade, but it could be like a multiple team trade.
There's one person stupid enough that owns a team to take on James Harden's contract
The Knicks.
and decimate the rest of it. James Dolan.
James Dolan.
And
No bullshit. That is a good ass idea.
Hold on, you
trade
have
a
to
bunch. They have a bunch of picks. They have RJ Barrett.
Wait.
That would be the only thing I can think of.
Look, if you're going to leverage or bet, if you're going to bet on James Dolan's stupidity, absolutely.
How much money
Under
do I have?
Under no circumstances should they do that, because they actually have a few pieces in New York. Are they going to win anything? No.
Who?
But RJ Barrett in
RJ Barrett's been
He was very inefficient.
all Harden gets is you sell out Madison Square some more, but they don't necessarily.
And
that's all he cares about.
That's all Dolan cares about.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Wait. But even with a shitty team, they still sell out Madison Square Garden. So
They got Obi Toppin in this draft, right?
Yeah.
Who else do they even have? Julius Randle?
Yes.
Dennis Smith Jr.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
do
they
I
got
want to
some
leverage
pieces.
every piece of the future for Harden? I mean, that's the thing. But another point that you're missing out on. If Harden goes to New York, who says he wants to be in New York?
You probably don't, but
he still carries a lot of leverage. You can't just trade him anywhere.
how much leverage does he have though? Because isn't he under team control for the next 2 years?
But that's the whole thing, is that at the end of the day, when it comes to Houston, this is the bet that they're laying in right now, is they're either going to have to settle for something, which is where I go back to the only two teams that I see logistically making any sense is Brooklyn and the Sixers. The only way it works with the Sixers – wait.
Okay.
The only thing that works with the Sixers is the Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Morey is now the GM in Philly. The last thing he's going to do is cast out a safety net for Houston at this point. And the last thing Houston wants to think is that Daryl got some sort of advantage over them. So there are a lot of politics in that move. And if you're Philadelphia, you hold all the leverage knowing that they need to get rid of Harden. And you don't have to leverage everything to do it. It's going to take Ben or it's going to take Joel. You're going to side with getting rid of Ben over Joel. That's it when it comes to Philly. If you're Philadelphia, you say it's Ben Simmons for James Harden, straight up, no picks, nothing else. This is what it is. And at the end of the day, on paper, Philadelphia wins that trade hugely. But there's no better trade out there that's going to exist for Houston. Now, as the leverage goes down, you're going to start.
Hold on.
What?
You said Philly would win?
Is James Harden a better player than Ben Simmons? Yes or no?
Can Ben Simmons shoot?
We just said James Harden the top 5 player in the NBA. Is Ben Simmons the top 5 player in the NBA?
It's more so like
no.
It's not about the player, but it's more about can you win with them?
No, it does that, but it does that part matters. Of it. Of course it matters, which is why I think Philadelphia should keep what they have. But if we're looking at straight trades, that's a win for Philly because you turn Ben Simmons into James Harden. That's it. Just on paper, that's it. I'm not saying they're going to win more games. I'm just saying on paper that trade is different.
How old is James Harden?
31.
How old is Ben Simmons?
24.
Yeah. I don't make the trade. I'm just saying if I was
Philly, I wouldn't do that.
But hold up. But if you're Philly, I don't do it, but I'm still saying it's going to be hard to say if I can upgrade
this year,
Ben Simmons for James Harden.
You're right.
You have to listen to that.
You're right.
You're making the argument for why James Harden's not going to be able to go anywhere.
Right.
No. I know. Look, I'm thinking about all this right now.
With Brooklyn has a lot of pieces. They have a lot. That's a deep team. The only thing with Brooklyn is that Brooklyn has to realize KD's not going anywhere. Kyrie's not going anywhere. Do we leverage everybody else in saying that these 3 guys together can win a championship?
Right, and you just built this team basically to see what they could do this coming year.
I would.
Why would you blow it up before giving it a chance? Like they've been waiting for this season for KD and Kyrie for the last 16 months. Why would they ruin it now? There's no way. The only place he can go is the Knicks. That's it.
But if the Knicks do it, it's a dumb thing for the Knicks. And number two, James Harden does not want to play for the fucking Knicks. So if you think that it's bad in Houston, wait till New York.
But if he throws so
he's
much,
not going to re-sign anything. He's going to be partying up in New York. He's not going to play.
Right. It's a terrible idea. But if he throws so much of a pissy fit, refuses to practice, refuses to play, and they're like, we got to dump him somewhere, James Dolan's number is the first one they should call.
It's not, because you're still going to have to give him to a contender. James Harden's not going to agree unless he goes to a contender. The only thing that ends up happening is that the leverage gets whittled down so much for both sides that you're at a point where he just has to play in Houston. Mm-hmm. Or you're at a position –
oh, that's what's going to happen.
That might be that point now.
Or you're at a position where Houston's going to have to get rid of him for nothing, but it's going to be a contender. So what you're looking at is you're looking at a Golden State being able to package something up to go get a Harden, or Dallas to package something up and to go get Harden. You're going to see Harden go for fucking peanuts, which is going to be insane, but it has to be somewhere that Harden wants to go.
And it's got to be after the start of the season. I don't think anything –
easily.
Yeah, I'm talking about preseason. Like, if he's out the door in the next 4 days, their only place is the Knicks. If you see Golden State – especially with Thompson down, they might need another shooter. They might be able to package something small up to send to Houston. Dallas, also a good landing place. Giannis might need some extra pieces. There's places for him to go, but at his price point right now, no way. His price point a month from now is here.
And this has been my point for weeks now.
No, and
you're the Harden thing.
No, and you're right.
Didn't New Orleans hold on to Anthony Davis for a whole year after they thought they were going to trade him?
Yeah.
And he still got a lot.
He still got a because he's Anthony Davis. And you look at how old is Anthony Davis?
27?
Then you also have LeBron wanted him.
And that's why you get things done.
LeBron wanted him.
I'm saying if at this point they don't trade him, right? So then they have him for the year. And then the offseason next year, I feel like they can flip him because it's still a year.
I get that. In a year's time, if he plays well again this season, you could do that.
AD is 27. I nailed it. So.
But if so you're talking about 27 for AD. 27 for AD, packaging him with LeBron James, who wanted him. No other athlete out here right now is saying we need Harden on the team. The only person you think might be doing it behind the scenes is KD. But even KD realizes we can't do everything to make that happen.
Or Giannis.
Giannis isn't saying enough, period. Otherwise, I don't think he would have – the Drew Holiday thing is a –
I think no, he's talking to the brass, but he's just not saying anything to the media.
There we go. You get James Dolan trades the entire future to go get Harden, waits a year, and goes get Giannis. And you got Giannis and Harden in fucking New York.
Giannis is not going to New York.
If he goes, there's Harden's there.
Milwaukee.
No superstar is going to New York willingly.
Agreed.
For the right check.
That's me in fantasy land.
No.
All right, moving on.
Houston will have James Harden this year. I don't think there's a way to get out unless it's Ben Simmons for James Harden straight up. And that's with no picks or anything else. And if that happens, Philadelphia won the trade, but I don't think it makes their team better.
Yeah, they lose in the long run, I think.
Yeah, because I think Houston would jump at that deal.
Houston's not going to jump at that deal unless they know that there's no other deal out there. And that's coming.
Shock four-way trade where John Wall ends up back in D.C. Anyway.
Well,
that'd be terrible.
We were talking about
that'd be absolute garbage. What are you talking about?
And then they move Westbrook back to Houston.
So we just trade him back after Russell Westbrook has already become like the greatest wizard of all time, and he hasn't.
And he's like having all the photos.
Have you seen the photo shoots with Russ? Have you seen how he's showing up to practice early?
Those jerseys, the Stars and Stripes jerseys.
Then also, you got to respect that Russ respects power to Gilbert Arenas. I ain't taking number 0. I'm wearing my high school number. Why? Because Agent 0 stands forever.
And then Gilbert was like,
did you see Bradley Beal's dunk in practice?
Bradley Beal looks good.
Duh, we are like the hype
Moving
train
on.
is here.
The hype is always there in the beginning of these seasons.
Not for Washington.
Everybody's undefeated.
Not for Washington.
I don't know.
Never for Washington. The last time we had any hype was Jordan, and we knew that was false.
And that was fun. I was at the game where he blocked the guy and held the ball onto the backboard. That was
people
fun.
don't realize that Jordan was still good when he came to the Wizards. So
he was just a little. He lost a step at 38, but he was still a step ahead. So you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah.
So we were talking about James. Why you say yeah?
Yeah.
We were talking about James Harden and the whole shit about him going out and wearing no mask and parties and shit. The fear is that he might catch COVID. So
like Joe Budden.
Yeah. So he has to test negative for 6 consecutive days for him to be able to practice and shit with the team.
Right.
Somebody on yesterday, who tested positive right before a game was Des Bryant. I feel so bad for him.
I mean,
yeah.
What
he was about to play against his former team, and then they pull him off the field 20 minutes before the game, and then he can't play because he has COVID.
Shit happens, man.
What's the name of the Dodgers player? The Rams.
Max Muncy.
Justin Turner.
No, Justin Turner.
Yeah.
Not Max Muncy. They're the same player.
I think the thing of it right now is that you feel terrible for Dez that he'd ever be in that sort of situation. You see how excited he was to play against Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. I'd also say that this kind of speaks a little bit to what the fuck is the NFL's testing policy, in which you're waiting for – if it's time to play a game and you've got guys out there warming up around other guys, probably got on a team bus with other guys, was in the locker room with other guys, why are we waiting for a test result during that time period? Well,
they just came out and said that the NFL followed protocol, right? What your point is, like, the protocol's
stupid.
And apparently he tested inconclusive twice, which is why, like, they let him continue on and shit, and then they tested him again, and then it came out as positive.
If he's inconclusive, you remove him from the rest of the team.
Yeah, and I feel like he did it twice.
You put it back in.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, is that, like, this whole inconclusive has to be treated as a positive test result.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem – that's not the safest route they could have taken.
Yeah.
If in court, if someone blows on a DUI and it's inconclusive as to what their BAC is, they sit around and wait and have them do it again until they get a result. And you know what? That doesn't even involve somebody dying. This does. Yeah. Oh, and also it could decimate. Remember, this is the same Ravens who just went through a whole rigmarole for their COVID tests. The same team.
They had 4 different strands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing, I think crazy. The thing you have to keep it in perspective that this is a Ravens team who was also playing on a Tuesday night because of how fucked up everything happened when it comes to their COVID situation.
It doesn't. If they have someone come inconclusive and we just got, off the COVID train, my first inclination would be quarantine this motherfucker in the locker room. Let's run another set of tests, and if he tests negative, then we'll throw him out there. If not, then we're not exposing Lamar Jackson to COVID again.
Which why, like, if Dez legitimately has COVID, let's wait for the other positive test results to come in a few days if other team members were exposed. Like, what the fuck? Let's be honest.
I feel shitty for him because now he's not playing for the rest of the year. He's just like, fuck it.
Well, that's a choice.
No, I doubt. He's just an emotional handbasket.
That's just
it was funny. He's like, hey, I'm drinking wine. Like, y'all send me pictures. Y'all drinking with me. Like, fuck it. I'm done.
Hey, but here's the thing. Let's just say Des Bryant is actually positive. And the entirety – so he was practicing with the first-string wide receiver. So you'd have to imagine that they're not going to be able to play next game. Do the Ravens still win?
Well, if they wore their trackers.
I say yes, they do. Because Lamar Jackson ain't throwing to none of them anyway. So
they're playing the Browns. So
yeah, no, you just put Lamar Jackson out there, throw your first through 9th string tight ends in the wide receiver position, and run the ball. It works.
But I think the heartbreaking thing for Dez is that Dez is wanting to play, ever since he got last cut. And he's been waiting for the right situation. I remember he turned down an offer in Baltimore, was it last year before? But beyond that, if you look at some other guys who've been veterans that, like Eric Reed. Eric Reed is a free agent safety who Washington could have used handedly. And we offered him a position on the practice squad that he could be activated, but I guess to Eric Reed, that was a step below him. Des Bryant went through every single thing you need to do to earn your spot back on the field. And he was this close from tasting it again with the sweetest possible revenge.
It's the same thing as Clay.
Of that. It's just a shitty, extremely shitty situation.
I would like to see the circumstances surrounding him getting COVID.
I mean, it's already probably out there. Like, they had 4 different strands of COVID in their organization.
Well, did he get tested today?
They
might
caught
have been a false
3
positive already.
Oh,
yeah,
it's positive again?
I don't know.
It might have been a false positive.
No, but if there's a false positive, then you pull him anyway. That's just the way it goes this year.
If you're positive, you get plucked. But there's a chance he doesn't even have it. But they keep relying on the goddamn on the rapid test instead of the PCR test because of the fact that they can't keep the players away from doing things.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to
God,
I would say
Ravens Des Bryant reverses course after quitting.
Yeah, of course.
He's just an emotional dude.
Moving on to the second biggest story of the week. Kadeen, I see your team name. I would like you to call back to kind of what you said in regards to why you picked the Jets to win that game, but whatever. Gregg Williams got fired because he called a cover zero blitz at the end of the game, but that's kind of what he's been known
I can't
for
wait
doing.
to talk about this.
We're talking about it now. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to start with a couple facts, and I think these are great. That is my favorite play to run every play in the classic video game NFL Blitz. There's no other defense you need to use in NFL Blitz, and if you do, you're a coward.
And you get to drop kick the quarterback every time.
There have been over 120 instances of that play whereby the opposing team needs to score a touchdown in the final seconds of the game, and this is the first time in the history of football that the defense has brought more than 6 blitzers. In fact, I think they brought –
It was also the length of the field, too, by the way.
They brought 7 blitzers and put a rookie on the fastest wide receiver on the field.
Who's
just
also
saying. Yeah, but a slow rookie. Like, not even a veteran.
His name is Lamar Jackson, so he's fast.
Yeah. There's probably a Ryan Harold somewhere in this world that runs a 4.4, and that shit ain't me. So
got it.
Look, you run a 4.4 in my book, okay?
Thanks, bud. All right, go ahead.
Maybe on skates. Sounds like a hockey player.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be a little bit slower on skates, but continue. My bad.
Go ahead. No, I'm done. I wanted to say that was the first time in history that any defensive coordinator has done.
ESPN comes with all these damn stats, and it was like, from the 40, like after the 40-yard line or whatever, like it's the first time this happened in 256 like plays and all, whatever. Go ahead.
It's crazy.
I am a studier of Gregg Williams.
Really?
You didn't have a choice for a while.
Gregg Williams was a defense coordinator for Washington when Joe Gibbs came back as head coach.
Really?
I was a firm believer, still am to this day, that when Joe Gibbs left, if we had promoted Gregg Williams to head coach, we would have made the playoffs and been a contender the following season.
I remember that argument. Okay.
I still stand firm in that argument. The reason he didn't get the job was how confrontational he was, and I guess some people knew some murmurings that he was having bounties on opposing teams, so that necessarily wasn't a good look to be a head coach.
Hey,
but
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's all I gotta say.
Washington went the Jim Zorn direction. We know how that ended. So, Gregg Williams, when he was the defensive coordinator here in Washington, you also got to realize that he also was the defensive coordinator the entire length that we had Sean Taylor. He is the guy who promoted in every which way or form an extremely aggressive defense.
And Ryan Clark.
And Ryan Clark before, when we had Ryan Clark, and then we had Sean Taylor, and then we got rid of Ryan Clark, and we brought in LeRon Landry, who's one of my least favorite players of all time.
I thought you liked the muscle builder, dude.
If you make a tackle on a guy that just got a first down in a 3rd and 15, and you're flexing because you hit him hard, I want to cock slap you. You gave up the first down. You do not get to celebrate, LeRon. Not to mention, it's all steroids that gave you fucking muscles. All right, whatever. Outside of that, Gregg Williams almost every time when they were in a prevent defense would not do the prevent. So a lot of people when they're watching football, and it's the 2-minute offense being ran, and they're like, why are they giving up the 10-yard play? Why are they giving up 15 yards every time? Because you're playing prevent. Gregg does not play prevent. Nope. Gregg blitzes you. Mm-hmm. If you're Adam Gase and you had any rhyme or reason to know that you had Gregg Williams on that team and you're firing him over that play, which is textbook Gregg Williams, then all I've got to say is it reinforms that Adam Gase is the biggest pussy piece of shit in the NFL, because this is exactly what I called out last week when I said that there was a chance that when he was trying to talk about the Sam Darnold thing, he was trying to earn brownie points for being honest. And now you see all he's trying to do is pass the buck that it's Gregg's fault when you knew what you were getting when Gregg was your defensive coordinator.
Hold on.
Here's my favorite part of this story.
Okay.
Is allegedly, and this is just what I've read, is Adam Gase was talking to another coach.
Yep.
While this play was going on, and I've never been a head football coach, but I imagine if my team is on the last, this should be the last play of the game. What am I doing talking to another coach? And that's one. And two, he said as the play was being snapped, he heard cover zero. And he turned around to witness what can only be described as a fantastic throw by Derek Carr.
And it also said that if he had the opportunity or was paying attention, he would have told them to call out of that, which is a
also
bullshit.
It's not just Adam Gase, the middle linebacker who has the green dot on his helmet. He had the chance to call out of that play when he heard it. And he was mad that he did not do it.
No, but had they sacked Derek Carr, he'd have been thrilled that he stood with the play. He went with what his coach, whose job it is to design the defense.
Sacked. If we would have went anywhere, it was 5 seconds left. We would have lost the game. But outside of that,
I'm saying hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, Gregg Williams and Adam Gase have had tension all year.
Gregg Williams has tension with every person ever.
I know, but what I'm saying is it's documented the tension that they've had with each other. Gregg Williams called out Adam Gase around some point or whatever early in the season. And it's been
Adam Gase is a pussy.
Rightfully so.
Okay. But that's not what I'm saying. They've had tension all year. So him saying what the fuck are we doing? And then you add on top of that all of the defensive players who are on the field saying what the fuck we are doing, including May.
I think the fact that the linebacker did not check out of that play shows you that they knew exactly what they were getting into. This is okay, this is what coach wants us to do. This is probably what we expect to do. We bring 7 on 3rd down every single time.
If you want to watch a good interview,
had success all year.
If you want to watch
the whole game,
not with Gregg Williams. I'm saying if you want to watch a good interview on what Gregg Williams is about, I forget who it is. It might have been Ryan Russillo. Somebody interviewed Chris Long, former defensive end, who played under Gregg Williams, I think, at St. Louis.
St. Louis, right?
And he talked about how I don't understand how anybody could ever be surprised that Gregg Williams is going to call a cover zero in that situation, because that's what we did. And there were a lot of times where when we did call that, you'd get pressure on the quarterback, he'd throw an errant pass, he'd get a sack or something. It's the way that Gregg coaches. It always has been. Look, there are a lot of criticisms to be had. My point is not that Gregg deserves criticism for calling that play. I think it's stupid. I wouldn't do it. That being said, it is who he is. And if you hire him, you know that that's what you're getting with him.
Yeah.
He calls those defenses.
And
it's the same reason. The game after Sean Taylor died, him and Joe Gibbs got into it because Gregg left our safety spot empty in one play for.
Wait, that was Gregg's decision, and Joe was mad at that?
Because Joe didn't know. He didn't talk to Joe about it.
Oh.
So Gregg just did it, and we gave up like a 40-yard pass on.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
Regardless of whatever it is. That was the look. The only reason Gregg ended up in Washington was because Joe Gibbs looked at him and said, "I'm giving you absolute carte blanche on defense. You get to pick your coaches. You get to pick the personnel. You get to pick everything." So he took it. Right. Okay. But he didn't get the head coaching job because he used to butt heads a lot. And if you look at what happened in New Orleans, him and Sean Payton didn't get along great, but they had some sort of camaraderie around his Bountygate shit because Sean Payton knew about it, was supposed to shut it down, and didn't shut it down. I don't know if he thought that leaving Gregg out there would get Gregg himself in trouble. I don't know.
Didn't they have a couple really good seasons though?
That's some great seasons and good defenses. I don't give a shit. Look, Gregg Williams overall, I've always thought, for the most part, fairly overrated coach. But I think he's one of those braggadocious defensive coaches that keeps himself in the news a lot, which makes you want to hire him because he's this cult of personality.
Same thing with Rex Ryan.
It's Rex Ryans. It's the Jeff Fishers. It's those guys.
It's the Rob Ryans.
It's the coaches that are honest to who they are. Like Gregg Williams is going to call a blitz every third down if it's a passing down. Gregg Williams is going to call a zero blitz in the fourth quarter to try and with 5 seconds left to try and rattle the quarterback, because if there's an errant throw, you win. If it goes up in the air, hopefully your corners can go and bat it down or tackle the guy. And he's had success doing that. And it's same thing. Riverboat Ron Rivera. If it's a 4th and 1 and they're on their 30, is he going to go for it? Most coaches, you'd say no. Ron Rivera, you'd look at him and say, this may be a place where he goes for it. And he does. And that's just the coach he is, and he's never going to back down from that, even when it doesn't work. Gregg Williams will be picked up.
I don't know about that.
By the end of the year.
I'm not 100% sure about that. But Adam Gase, I think Adam Gase is a fucking punk. He's a pussy. And the reason he's a pussy is that if the same way you saw about Ron Rivera, if we go for it on fourth, the Giants game that we could have won and we went for, we could have won to overtime. He's going to go for it. If Dan Snyder turned around and said, I'm firing Ron for that decision, why the fuck did you hire him?
And here's my problem. I think this is my biggest problem with Adam Gase. I'm done with Gregg Williams. My biggest problem with Adam Gase is he's a bad coach. And they're like the Lance – they're talking about fine. I'm going to keep harping back to this. Lance Lynn and the Chargers, their defense is atrocious. Anthony Lynn, rather. Their defense is atrocious. Lance Armstrong. No, their defense is atrocious, right?
No.
So the Chargers' defense is awful. Their special teams is atrocious.
It's probably the special teams, but their defense isn't like as bad as you say it is.
No, they give up 35 points a game.
I do what most Americans do and don't pay attention to whatever the Chargers are doing.
Right, but they have a black head coach.
I do.
My point is, like, how are you going to fire Lynn before you fire Gase? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, Gase is a bad coach. He had great defense. They just were never in a position to win because their offense was so bad. It frustrates me that Adam Gase is still a head coach and Gregg Williams is now out. How does that help them? How does that make the Jets a better team with Williams not their defensive coach?
This is not the last person Adam Gase is going to throw under the bus. Because you're going to start seeing it week in and week out. Some excuse is going to be made. Last week it got everybody off his back that I admit that I could have done better things with Sam Darnold. Now
that's fireable.
But that's the thing but it's buying him some sort of room to maneuver some more because the heat hasn't been on Gase this week. The heat's been on Gregg Williams in the play.
Like Atlanta was a better team than the Jets, and their coaching staff was canned.
You can't blow those leads. You can't do what Atlanta did. Like that, it's the same thing I feel about Doc Rivers.
Well, I mean,
the top Jets, 10 defense, bro.
The Chargers?
Yeah.
In what category? Points per game?
Yards.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're ninth.
In what?
They're ninth in the NFL in yards per games this year. I
don't care about yards. What about points?
All right, hold on. points.
And if it's points, it could be speaking to special teams.
Let's not talk about points. Yeah, because that could be special teams.
They're last, right?
No.
Second to last?
Nope.
They're bad.
But they're bad. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah. Okay.
That speaks to special teams field position, but
special teams and defense
Yeah.
can go hand
And
in
then
hand.
they've also been injured because I think Joey Bosa's been out for a while.
yeah.
Right. No, and I'm just saying that, but they're blaming it on Lynn and not on the fact that they have some issues on defense and special teams. But Adam Gase at 0-12 now?
Yeah.
At 0-12 can throw Gregg Williams under the bus. When, in fairness, Gregg Williams hasn't had the opportunity to blitz on fourth down with the lead because they haven't had the fucking lead all year.
But here's what I'll say as far as the Adam Gase thing, and this is my last point on Adam Gase.
Yeah, he's getting too much airtime.
If you're Woody Johnson, who I still think owns the Jets, I look at this entire situation and say, like, I'm going to make it a point personally to bring up how shitty Adam Gase is as much as I can. But I will also say that if I'm Woody Johnson, I can understand if you're going to clean house, why you don't just let them do their thing, because it just ensures Trevor Lawrence will fall to me.
Trevor Lawrence has another year of eligibility.
And he might do that instead of going to New York.
Oh, yeah. No, why would you not keep getting pussy at Clemson?
I've said that. I've said if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I stay another year. But just because of the way COVID and everything broke out, I'd probably stay another year. But if you're Woody Johnson and you're saying, like, look, if I fire Gase today, we're still not going to win enough games.
You can't stay another year if you're look long term.
Under no circumstances should you ever have a coach or a player tanking for anything. But I'll be damned if you don't have a front office that'll tank for something.
First of all, if you think that Trevor Lawrence is far and away above better than Sam Darnold, I got something to tell you. He's not. He's got a very good team around him. Sam Darnold is a solid NFL quarterback who has not been groomed appropriately, apparently.
I agree. I'm a huge Sam Darnold fan, but
why would Trevor
be clearing house?
Yeah, and
if you're going to hire a new head coach, they might not want Sam Darnold.
If you're another team like the Skins, you could possibly get Sam Darnold for cheap.
You mean the Washington football team? You racist.
Yeah, whatever.
But that's the thing is, if you're going to hire a coach,
if you had a chance to get Sam Darnold, would you take him?
Yes.
For me, is Washington.
Yeah.
Depends on what they're asking. I literally was on the phone for an hour.
A second-round pick.
No, for an hour before this pod about Washington's quarterback situation, because there's a rumor about Carson Wentz going to Washington next year.
No, I don't.
Trust me.
But that would not make any sense for you.
How about for Alex Smith and a 6th-round pick?
No, because the money that comes along with it.
No, Sam Darnold.
For Alex Smith, the 6th-round pick, I guess
when is Sam Darnold's rookie contract up?
He's got 2 more years.
Probably about 2 years.
But you remember the conversation that we've been having since before we started this podcast in terms of teams win the Super Bowl when their quarterback is on a rookie deal, excluding Tom Brady.
So Aaron Rodgers.
The Washington football team would have
or Joe Flacco.
When did Ben win his Super Bowl?
He's got 2.
When did he win?
The first time he was on his rookie deal. The second one he was not.
Flacco was on a shitty interim deal.
Yeah, but he wasn't his rookie deal. That's all I'm saying.
All right, but like when the quarterback isn't making
Eli wasn't on his rookie deal.
But
I'm just saying, bad, though.
Yo, here's the thing. Like I said last time we had the last time we hold on, what?
The team was bad.
What team is bad?
The Giants.
They won 2 Super Bowls. I don't want to hear your shit.
I know what I'm saying.
I don't want to hear your shit. Bad. I don't want to hear your shit.
Like,
I don't want to hear. No,
you get in the playoffs and you do what you got to do.
Guys, we've been talking about Adam Gase for 20 minutes. We got to move on.
I mean, it was mainly your fault. All right,
I know. He induces. I don't get angry. Right. He induces so much anger inside of me.
All right, fuck Adam Gase. All right, so we're gonna move on to the recap of the picks last week.
I lost.
I don't know what happened.
Barely.
Wait.
You're tied for second.
Perennially second.
With Kadeen.
Just like the Jews.
I thought I had a bad week.
No, you both got 9 right.
That's probably my highest number of rights.
It wasn't like you were doing good, Ryan. I got 10.
Damn it. Wow. That's pretty close.
Stupid fucking Raiders.
I mean, you shouldn't
Winning
have
a
picked the
game they
Jets.
shouldn't have won.
You shouldn't have picked the Jets.
They won a game they shouldn't have won.
Yeah, no.
Goddamn, Gregg Williams.
Just win.
I could have been. Look, even if the Jets had won, I would have still been just tied for first. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, but I remember vividly Kadeem saying all the reasons why the Jets should win, and then,
and look, and
it was a good game.
We weren't wrong.
You can't tell me that everything I didn't say was completely accurate and it almost happened.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that Josh Jacobs wasn't going to play. I didn't know that Trent Williams. I didn't know that Trent Williams wasn't going to play either. Like, and Gregg Williams, like the whole game, he was dialing up blitzes, and he was getting home.
Who?
You know who Gregg Williams is?
I thought you said Trent Williams.
You did say Trent Williams.
Trent Brown.
Oh.
Trent Brown didn't play.
Also, Trent Williams didn't play this week. That's a fact.
Oh,
he did play.
For the Niners?
Yes.
Oh, I thought
he
Trent
got off the
Williams
COVID
was
list.
out.
Yeah, he was off the COVID list. He was playing.
Yeah. Same with Ayuk.
He had a good game.
It didn't help the Niners at all.
No, but he still looked dominant. I miss him.
All right. But yeah, we won that game. Good shit, Raiders. This week we played the Colts. All right, so
struggle against the Jets.
All right, we beat the fucking Browns and we beat the Chiefs. So
blah blah blah. Can we go to the most important
teams?
Can we go to the most impressive win this week?
No, fuck that. All right, so the Pats pay the Rams.
What?
I got.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
All right.
Congratulations. You called it. The Wift beat the Steelers. I watched most of the game. I missed towards the end, but good shit. Like, for real. I texted the group and said, if y'all win this, wow, good shit. And you did. So you called it.
Go.
Got that one right, and that's the most important one.
I thought you were going to say something, Ryan. I was
just saying, please have your moment. Have your moment in the sun here.
Well, look, I know that I said that there were certain factors that went into this game that I thought Washington had its best chance, just because of I still think what's happened to Pittsburgh has been entirely unfair over this season, in the sense of the way the league has forced them to just go and play whenever the league says so, and not have a bye and play against us after 5 days of rest, where it should have only been 4. When you're coming up against us, who last played on Thanksgiving when we beat the shit out of Cowboys on national TV, I don't know. Seems like a little trend that we're on.
Yeah, it's a winning one.
But I think what was most impressive about this win was that, I'm not going to lie, when we were down 14-0, I was like, this is over. Like, it's a done deal.
When Gibson went out with the turf toe, I was like...
And Gibson goes out bad early in the game. And it was just one of those things where it was like, wow, I didn't think we were going to be in this game even this long. But now that we're down 14-0, it's not going to happen. And the fact that we still mounted that sort of comeback and had the defense play lights fucking out. Now, it did also help that Pittsburgh couldn't catch a goddamn cold. They couldn't catch COVID in a pandemic. They couldn't catch 7 drops.
They weren't using that shea butter that the Redskins receivers were using.
But I will say, look, I apologized last week, but I'm going to apologize again. Logan fucking Thomas. Now, like I've always said, Logan Thomas I always thought was a really good dude, and it's a guy I root for. But his hands were made of bricks up until this last week. He caught everything that was thrown his way. I mean, some impressive-ass catches.
Hey, he's used to playing down at Tech. It's cold down there.
But I will say that when we went for it on 4th down, where Logan Thomas went behind center to pretend he was quarterback for a second, he caught the snap and did it. That was a terrible look. But
and then he did miss a block on another 4th down.
That they can move him around that well is being versatile. I love it. And if you hear what Ron Rivera says, that they looked at Logan Thomas on film and thought that this guy's a diamond in the rough, but once he gets going, we got something special. Ron Rivera looks like he's on to something when it comes to Logan. I look at this Washington team and say, if we can beat the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, albeit with those caveats of the lack of rest and the drops that they had.
And they almost lost to Dallas.
True. They haven't been playing the best, which is why I made this pick. This is why I was so adamant that this could happen. But Washington's defense looks fucking great. Montez Sweat and Chase Young are great. I think I posted something in the group. Chase Young is getting the same amount of double teams and triple teams as Khalil Mack, and he has a higher success rate this year than Khalil Mack. They are treating him like that. The only players I think they got more double teams than him are J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and I think there's one or two other people. T.J. Watt, yeah. It's an impressive fucking feat. And we're doing this without Matt Ioannidis, who I still think is the best player that we got.
So I have a question then. Should you or should you not go for Aaron Donald? I mean,
get it right.
Sam Donald, whatever his name is.
No, but this is the conversation I had with my friend on the phone before, where he mentioned Carson Wentz to me. There's rumors happening in Philadelphia that they're going to move on Carson Wentz because of Jalen Hurts getting the start this week. And
send him to Chicago. Send him to Chicago.
That makes the most sense, but I think Chicago might be gun shy. But I think that if I'm looking at Washington right now, if Alex Smith plays the level at which he's playing, I'm looking at the amount of cap space Washington also has. I think it's $69 million. I think we're like at the third most cap space in the league. If we have a core that is this young, with this many guys playing on their rookie deals, you shore up guys like Brandon Sheriff. If you already have Alex Smith under contract for the next 2 seasons at the money that he makes.
How much does he make?
It's like 18, 19 million a year.
Move him.
And if we cut him, it's like $10 million in dead cap.
Nah, move him.
Just wait. If Alex Smith is playing at the same level at which he's playing, and you still have Dwayne Haskins sitting on the sidelines, they could have moved Dwayne Haskins. They did not move Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins could be pulling a James Harden. He's not pulling a James Harden.
No, he's out there tweeting
the cosmic teammate,
loving all of his teammates.
I think what Ron said, we looked at what Ron said like we look at majority of NFL coaches in the way that they say it. But I think that he meant it when he said that we're not done with Dwayne. So if Alex still plays at this level, I'm running it back. I look at Allen Robinson being available wide receiver next year. I look at Chris Godwin being available wide receiver next year. I look at these guys and say that if you pick up some guys in defensive back or anything and run it back, we're not a Super Bowl contender, but we are definitely in the right direction.
Isn't Harmon back next year? He's been injured for like
Kelvin Harmon's back. Antonio Gandy-Golden, who's been injured, can come back. But if you put a stellar wide receiver with this quarterback squad, I'm a firm believer in you build the team and the quarterback's your last piece. That's me. I've always been that way. Because I'm not a fan of putting a quarterback out there with no help as far as his his weapons.
In the trenches. I know.
And nothing on the trenches.
But so you have the defensive trenches already set, right?
But offensively.
Right. Now
their best receiver is a former quarterback.
No, their best receiver is Terry McLaurin.
T-Mac drops some balls, and he's getting doubled. So
yeah,
which is why I go back to
if you add an Allen Robinson on the other side.
No, I'm not
in free agency.
I'm saying right now.
Yeah,
we're talking about. We're talking about next year. Question about next year.
Yeah. So look,
I'm saying quarterback. I'm saying quarterback right now is not my top priority for this team. That's all I'm saying.
You're not going to win with Alex Smith, man. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying today. Look, if you get Sam Darnold, right? Let's say you got to give up a second or third round pick. Like, fuck that. Send it. Sam Darnold's still on his rookie contract. You get Allen Robinson.
There's not enough talent on that team for Sam Darnold, even being young, and seeing what Adam Gase has done to him to win on his rookie year.
Hold on. What happened when Ryan Tannehill left Miami? He went to Tennessee, and he played lights out. So what I'm saying is you already have a running back. You already have a good receiver in Terry McLaurin.
Tennessee has Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown. What's in a offensive line full of Pro Bowlers, including Taylor Lewan?
Okay,
what are you comparing?
Listen to what I'm saying, bro. You get Aaron Donald. Not Aaron Donald. Sam Donald. You know what I mean. Sam Donald. Then you get Allen Robinson in free agency. Or a receiver like him, an X-Y receiver that can.
Then I got to teach Sam Darnold how to play this offense? No.
Yeah, no. You keep Dwayne.
I keep Dwayne, and I see what Dwayne has because, look, are you both of you guys on the same page that Dwayne Haskins got put in the worst ever situation last year with Jay Gruden was coach?
Dwayne's not good.
Yes or no? Was Dwayne put in the worst possible situation you could be as a rookie quarterback with Jay Gruden?
Sam Darnold's looked awful, and that's not Sam Darnold's fault.
I'm not saying – I don't hate Sam Darnold. I think he can be a quality guy in the league.
No, I'm just saying the reason Dwayne looks bad It's because Dwayne has had bad coaching.
Plus, he had no training camp, a brand new offense, and he played 1 year at Ohio State.
All right, so
he's also not the athlete. He's not the athlete that Tua or anybody else is.
You give Dwayne Haskins time to see if he can be a quality starter because he's not a superstar for damn sure, and you know
we don't know. Hold on, whoa. I'm saying as far as Dwayne Haskins, I don't know because Dwayne Haskins. I think a lot of times what we're getting misconstrued is that we think in order to be a superstar, you have to be almost that. Right.
Can he be a top 5 quarterback?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. This is a dumb argument.
He's not a running quarterback. He's not that kind of athlete. He's a pocket passer. And what he can do as a pocket passer has looked impressive in very small bursts, but there's not enough that he's been in with this system. If he look, like I go back to, no training camp, a brand new system, after he got thrown to the Lions' den last year. He didn't get a fair shot.
Listen to what I'm saying, bro.
We heard it. I disagree.
Your team is at this point where you have a lot of great pieces that are on their rookie deals and they're young.
So is Dwayne Haskins.
Dude, you keep saying the same thing over and over. This is what I'm saying bottom line to you. I don't think bringing Sam Darnold in to learn our offense after being fucked up in the head by Adam Gase puts us in a better off situation than riding with Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins right now. Because if I have to give up anything to get Sam Darnold, I already put myself at a loss if, like you're saying, there's enough key cogs on this team. Because there's another quarterback who's on their rookie deal, Dwayne. There's also a matter of Alex Smith. If you're the New York Jets and you hire a new coach, they're not going to want Alex Smith at fucking quarterback. You're not going to be able to move Alex Smith anywhere.
If you're able to move him, would it be a good
idea?
You're
saying an if, like it's just some random
This whole shit is
thing.
If.
But
yeah,
I'm saying
the question.
I'm saying no, but you keep going back to.
All right, so that's not what we just don't agree. All right, so let's move on to the picks for this week because we've spent way too much time on this shit anyway.
Yeah, because you like to argue.
Pats versus Rams. Who you got? I got the.
He likes to make up
Rams.
scenarios,
right?
No, shut the fuck up. Like
Pats and
I know
Rams.
what I'm saying. Pats versus Rams. Who you got?
The Rams.
Pats.
All right.
Intriguing.
Ryan, you said the Rams?
Yeah.
And Kaden, you said the Pats.
Wait, is there Thursday night football?
That's the Pats versus Rams. They play
I don't understand how fantasy football is working where none of my transactions have gone through, any of my waiver pickups.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give me an opportunity to make any further ones. It's fucking stupid.
No, there'll be free agents off the waiver for as long as nobody dropped them.
It's playoff week. It's like the most important fucking week. Anyway,
I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. All right, Jags versus Titans. I'm picking the Titans.
Titans.
Jags put up a pretty good fight. But
who are you picking?
Titans.
Okay. Vikings versus Bucks. Oh. They're in Tampa Bay, by the way.
Oh, so there's going to be people with COVID in the stands. Fun.
Tampa Bay.
I'm taking Tampa. Tampa.
I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Not a bad pick.
This is one of those toss-ups.
Chiefs versus Dolphins. I'm picking the Chiefs.
Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is going to hoist the Lombardi trophy, and I don't think he's going to lose another game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. Fuck.
He's not winning. Broncos, Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers.
Don't hate the Broncos. Panthers.
I'm going to take Denver.
Wow. Okay.
They have a lot of pieces in Denver. It's just they can't get it to work right.
Texans, Bears. I'm taking the Texans.
Texans.
Yeah, Texans.
Okay. Cards versus Giants. I'm going to take the Cards.
Giants are a sexy pick right now. The defense has stepped up. And we always fail to mention Joe Judge when we talk about Bill Belichick disciples. What he's done with that team, Plus Colt McCoy is my boy. Arizona.
Daniel Jones coming back, right?
Oh, give me Arizona though. Kyler Murray's been on a 2-game sled. He needs to get right.
Did talk about DeAndre Hopkins was going to have a bad game, and he did.
He had 20 fantasy points. He had a tug.
Yeah, but nah. He had, what was like 58 yards and a touchdown? Like
20 points in fantasy. Cool with that.
Yeah, I'm talking about like real life production.
Yeah, give me Kyler.
Okay, cool. All on the cards. Cowboys versus Bengals.
Anybody but the Cowboys.
All right, so I'm taking the Cowboys, and you're taking the Bengals, Ryan. Cool. And Kadeem?
Cowboys.
Okay. Colts, Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders. You both are taking the Colts?
I'm taking the Colts.
I'll take the Raiders.
Nice. We should have our whole team back this time.
Still won't be enough.
I don't know. Darren Waller looked like
Phillip Rivers has been playing on a broken back or something now.
We've been playing against Phillip Rivers forever.
Phillip Rivers has been a dead man. Have you heard about all the injuries he's playing through?
I don't give a shit. It's fucking Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, he's.
All right,
you're the one who was trying to convince me how well Indianapolis was a week ago.
It was more so about their defense, not fucking Phillip Rivers.
He throws like a girl.
You're Homer.
T.Y. Hilton has not had a
nothing.
T.Y. Hilton had a game last game.
I know, but like his whole year so far, he's not been himself, and most of that is because Phillip Rivers can't get him the damn ball.
Also, I think T.Y. is north of 30 now.
Also,
that don't mean shit.
Flip Rip throws like this. Can't trust him.
If you're 29 and then you hit 30, that doesn't mean you can't run routes anymore. T.Y. Hilton's still there. No, that's bullshit.
Has Jonathan Taylor been healthy? Has their running backs been healthy?
Yeah.
I don't think so because
Jonathan Taylor's been
on my fantasy team.
He's been out every other week.
So
whatever. All right, Jets versus Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
The Jets sure as hell do play hard though. Can't fake that one.
Well, the Seahawks have. Don't the Seahawks have the 32 ranked defense in the country? You know what?
So.
You know what? Give me the Jets.
Okay.
I'm going to keep Adam Gase around for another year. Get some win. The bar's so low that they think it's a great accomplishment.
They're gonna burn the Jets stadium to the ground.
I fucking hate that.
Did y'all watch the interviews that the Jets defenders gave?
No, don't care. They're part of the Jets organization.
The safety was like, he's like, yeah, we play hard all game, but you guys got to help us out there on the last call. They straight called out the play caller.
I mean,
that's why I think Gregg Williams is gone. May was their best defender.
I mean, you can look at what
him and Quentin Williams
set and tell what they were running.
Yeah. All right, Packers versus Lions. I'm going with the Packers.
Packers.
All right. Falcons, Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers on a bounce-back game.
Falcons.
Yeah, Chargers.
I know you can't go against this guy.
The Herbs.
Oh, it's like Flair.
Well, it's just an RP for Herbert. Wift versus Niners.
I can't.
Wift.
Yeah, I can't bet against the Wift right now.
I will say this. Kyle Shanahan hates our fucking organization with a passion.
I'm going with the Niners.
And I also think Kyle Shanahan has been game planning for this particular game all season.
Yeah, just like his dad hates us. It's understandable.
I understand why Mike hates him. Why Mike hates the Raiders. I don't quite understand why Kyle hates us as much.
Wasn't he trying to get the head coaching job and y'all said no?
No, he turned it down because we fired his daddy.
So you don't see why he hates y'all? Okay.
Yeah, but we had more than enough justifiable reasons for getting rid of his dad.
Still, this is dad.
Doesn't matter.
So what? Scott Turner is our offense coordinator. We fired the fuck out of his dad. He made the playoffs and we fired his dad.
Fucking Norv.
Just saying.
He had a stupid name.
Norval Turner.
Saints versus Eagles. I got the Saints.
Give me the Saints. Although Jalen Hurts first starts, rookie quarterback, potentially do some shit that nobody sees coming.
I hope he has a good game, but they're still going to lose.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Drew Brees might come back too.
Ooh.
Taking the Eagles.
All right. Drew Brees is supposed to come back this game. And the return of Michael Thomas for my fantasy team. Thank God.
I keep Taysom Hill out here at this point.
No, fuck that.
Till the playoffs? Yeah.
No, fuck that. We're not going to Tebow this here or Sammy Ball this here. All right, Steelers versus Bills. I got the Steelers versus Bills. That's a good game. Fuck. Usually I just pick the Bills, but I don't know about this one.
Steelers.
Ryan, you're taking the Bills. I know.
I say it with no reservation, just so that we can show just how impressive Washington is.
I mean, they're fucking undefeated so far before they played y'all, so that's already proven.
Yeah, but there's a lot to be said about who Pittsburgh has played and how it is they have won. I think that this is a statement game, and I think Mike Tomlin knows this.
I think.
Not to mention, it is extremely important.
This is a Sunday night game.
It is extremely important in the AFC right now if you're one of the top 3 teams to win these games for home field.
Even the AFC North, because the Bengals are 8-3.
It's extremely important. Browns.
No, the Browns. Wow. What the?
And their offense is looking sick now. But it's if I'm Pittsburgh, I think that this is the week that Tomlin gets on their asses. Not to mention they actually get to rest a bit more than they have been recently.
Nah.
Shit.
Josh Allen's going to torch him.
I'm going to come back on that one. I'm going to answer that before I end the pod today. But the last one is the Ravens versus the Browns. Who you got?
The who?
Ravens versus the Browns. Who you got?
Browns.
Okay.
Yep.
Ryan?
Browns.
All right.
Offense is looking scary. Baker, baby, Baker. Plus,
I'm going to take the Ravens on that one.
What commercial? What insurance commercial did he do?
Progressive.
I love those fucking commercials.
Yo, he is hilarious.
Well, he's got the groceries trying to enter back in the stadium. Did you see that one? Oh,
yeah,
God,
that one, and where he's frying the turkey, and he's got the crescent rolls on like the little spinner thing, and his girlfriend's like,
I love me some Baker.
I think it's his wife, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know they were married, but dude,
Mrs. Mayfield.
And the other one where he's like, hey, I think it's about to start raining. We got to cover these seats.
Come on, help me. If we put it up, we can do section. Here's the thing.
I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. I'm going to take the Steelers versus the Bills.
That's fair. Hey, look, I think it's not cut and dry. I mean, I think it is.
I mean, Josh Allen's fucking scary, but
Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Here's the thing. If Big Ben can't score, then Josh Allen runs away with the game. Because we're not the Bills aren't going to run. Like, even if it's 21-0, the Bills are going to keep throwing the ball down the field. If Pittsburgh can't establish a run game, which it's proven that's how you beat the Bills, then they're fucked.
Connor's coming back, by the way.
Who?
James Connor's
back.
Yeah, he just had COVID and he had cancer.
He didn't play against us, but that's what I'm saying. He didn't play against us, and we were very happy he didn't play against us. It's the one thing you can do against Washington is run.
Yeah, and that's the thing you can do against the Bills. So, all right.
All right. So, moving on to another thing. Spence versus Garcia. We didn't talk about this fight last week.
Errol Spence is still the best fighter.
Did you hear what happened though? So, when he had the accident or whatever, right? I think it was the night he won the title. He woke up and he didn't remember the accident, or he didn't remember being in the hospital or anything like that. And then he goes in and then he's preparing for his next fight versus Danny Garcia. So for him, it's he won the fight, he went to sleep, woke up, and then he started training for the next fight.
I mean, he flipped a Ferrari 100 some odd miles an hour.
And he flew out the window.
Because he wasn't wearing his damn seatbelt because he's a fucking moron. Look, Errol Spence is a great fighter. I think this proves it.
Yeah.
Is he the best pound for pound? Probably not. I think Garcia needs –
Terrence Crawford's the best.
Garcia needs another shot. But, I mean –
Shot at what?
At the title? He's still the best contender.
What? Garcia lost 3 times, and it was to everybody who had titles.
Garcia has 2 titles still.
I know. But I'm saying he lost. Like, he had 3 losses, right?
Right.
And it was just all to the best people in the divisions. So
yeah, so he gets one more fight, and then he gets to come back at the champ. Garcia's young, man. He's a good fighter.
I don't hate on Garcia.
He lost every round by 1 point. Like,
this is Spence's first fight since the accident, right?
Yeah,
he'd been off for 470 odd days.
So they thought that little of Danny Garcia to have him start up against him?
Yeah.
And then
I mean, to be honest, it was kind of like that was the warm-up fight.
Well, yeah. No, that was to unify the belts.
I'm
Garcia
just saying.
has the other 2.
You fly out of a Ferrari to 170 miles an hour. You usually want to warm up a fight, not go straight to Danny Garcia.
I mean, it had been 400 and whatever days. It's not like it was yesterday.
Just saying, first time back in the ring.
First fight, though? Like, but
I mean, he had 350 days to train for it, so no excuses. Also, something else happened that I wanted to talk about.
Mayweather,
yeah.
Paul.
I mean,
no,
guys,
that fight.
Guys, come on. That's next on the list.
I don't want to talk about that. It's a
Why?
joke. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment to sports.
It's a joke, but hey, we need to discuss it.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
It's just a money grab, and it's embarrassing.
No, because that needs to be in the title.
Okay, fine. It's a money grab, and it's embarrassing, and I think Floyd should be embarrassed.
It's a damn exhibition. Like
Floyd Mayweather fought a 14-year-old over in Asia.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
A kickboxer, but that wasn't televised.
I hope Paul fucks him up.
Money.
Nah.
He won't.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a lot of weight on him, though?
Who?
He won't.
Logan? Yeah.
Didn't Connor have weight on?
He won't hit him. That's the thing.
In my heart of hearts, I hope Mayweather gets knocked out.
He won't hit him.
All right,
I understand that.
Well,
I don't want to talk about the fight.
He's unorthodox.
Point of deduction.
I don't want to talk about the
fight.
fight.
If you had Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul, who you got?
Logan Paul.
Conor.
Ryan's in a different universe.
Conor McGregor's a UFC fighter.
Just saying.
Logan's been boxing for like a year and a half.
He is still a championship athlete.
Who?
In a fighting sport.
Who?
Logan Paul.
Championship in college? Does that make you better than a UFC fighter?
Who is?
And he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Not a boxer.
So
Conor's a fucking champion in UFC. That makes you better than a fighter for wrestling.
Not currently. Also,
you can't wrestle in the boxing ring.
I'm just saying he's an athlete.
So is Conor.
He's got 70 pounds on Conor.
So is Nate Robinson.
That don't mean shit.
Nate Robinson was
an athlete.
Nate Robinson just started.
Not in a fighting sport.
I get it. I'm just saying. You're talking about arguably, and there's a definite argument to be made that the best boxer in the history of the sport is Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, no. I
didn't say that I agree with it. I said that there's an argument to be made.
Wait, we're talking about Conor McGregor here. I'm just saying I hope he knocks him out.
That was the point of – I thought that would be a point of deduction to get you to realize the error of your ways.
No.
I guess it wasn't. You doubled down. So what I'm saying is that if Floyd Mayweather is arguably the greatest boxer to ever exist, and he's going against a YouTube celebrity, regardless of his training, I'm sorry. The reason that you said that it's an embarrassment for Floyd is because it's fucking Floyd Mayweather.
And it's easy.
It's easy money.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Right.
It's easy money.
I said I hope that he knocks him out. It won't happen. Then you asked me about Conor McGregor.
Sorry.
And I said that Conor McGregor is not a boxer.
Sorry, I thought you said he would. But I still say it firm. If Conor McGregor had to fight
Logan Paul a boxer?
Is he do I think he's a better boxer than Conor McGregor? Yes.
Yeah. Because he trained for a year and a half?
Because Conor McGregor's not a good boxer. He's a good UFC fighter.
Is Logan Paul a good boxer?
Conor held his own more than anybody thought he would.
Conor McGregor is 135 pounds. Logan Paul's over 200. I'm taking Logan Paul all day.
So that's my point.
Ryan, haven't you knocked out somebody that was bigger than you?
Wait, Ryan. Are you picking Logan Paul or just rooting for him?
That's a good question.
Over whom?
Over Floyd.
Never. I'm just rooting for him.
Didn't you just say?
You guys, he brought up Conor McGregor. He would whoop Conor McGregor's ass. He's going to lose to a professional boxer. That's all I'm saying.
Cool.
Yes, you did. You said Conor McGregor. One of you did. And I was like, he would whoop Conor McGregor's ass.
All right, ref. One of you.
White guy went after the darker skinned black guy this time.
Wait, are you darker than me?
No, fuck no. You're not. No.
Man, y'all are sitting in different lighting. Get over yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely not. We know when we're face
Go
to face.
sit out into the sun for an hour and I'll judge.
You sit in the sun with us.
Yeah, I'll just turn red.
I know.
That doesn't work.
And randomly start building a pyramid.
I'll start dragging blocks from your house, chipping them out.
Why are you doing this? It just feels right.
Somebody have a whip. I really need some motivation.
Guys,
what's happening?
Guys.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Final
I don't eat today.
You put me in a field long enough, I'm going to wonder why do I have cotton in my hand?
Did you see the fucking video I sent with the dude?
You got to get it out first.
He always says jokes and laughs before he gets them out.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. It's playoff weeks for fantasy football. I'm in no position to win any of my leagues. It's disheartening. COVID has fucked me. It's fucked me hard. Stay inside, wear your masks.
Go ahead, Kadeem.
That does remind me, as the commissioner of my fantasy football league, and I just didn't make the playoffs, I'm putting an asterisk on this season of being the COVID season. This is horse shit. It is absolute fucking dog shit. I fucking hate fantasy football this year so goddamn much. So much so I deleted the FanDuel app because every time I put together a team, half the goddamn team ends up on COVID. So I'm just like, fuck this shit. You got to pay attention too much. But outside of that, I'm going to go back to my bread and butter, which is COVID is a thing. It is extremely real. The numbers still are up and down because we haven't – after Thanksgiving, it discombobulated everything as far as the numbers go. I'm still expecting a sustained over 3,000 deaths before Christmas. And I live in Baltimore City, and on 5 p.m. on Friday, they are now shutting down all indoor and outdoor dining. We are getting locked back down. I know that was it Northam and or Governor Blackface in Virginia is shutting shit back down.
Nope.
No, I thought that they're announcing that on Friday he's doing something. Whatever. Okay.
That's what I hear. But I can say that I'm very proud. I see people just when out walking, everybody's masked up. I have seen very little of people shirking the rules as of late. So for that, I'm thankful for my compatriots here in Northern Virginia.
Then let's keep it going.
They're trying. There was a town in Virginia somewhere that voted as a council against the mask mandate. I don't know what to tell them.
Ryan, I just texted you. All right, so my final thought is your boy is getting married in 20 days.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. You didn't know this?
Baker Mayfield?
Bitch, I'm getting married.
Where?
Well, you want me to be excited and you call me a bitch. I don't understand.
I can do both, okay?
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, so December 29th, my fiance is going to be my wife. I'm excited for this shit.
Congrats,
yeah, I know. I'm drunk as hell, so.
Ooh, I had a joke, and I passed.
Appreciate you. Yeah, so I've been drinking tequila this whole pod. I think it's been great.
Appropriate.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I'm about to go enjoy my wife or future wife. I appreciate y'all.
Your wife.
Y'all have a good one.
Well, the Death Star still go boom.
Ryan. God damn it, Ryan.